Welcome back to the Push and the Pace podcast. I am your host, as always, Elias, my co-host Samuel. Today, 2 games in the NBA playoffs. We are at unknown territories. Some people expected 2-0 Spurs, 1-1 series, something tied. Knicks steal a game. We are at complete unknown territories with the Knicks, the New York Knicks, up 2-0, winning both games in San Antonio, going back home to New York for games 3 and 4 with a commanding 2-0 win after 2 very good games, both of them very close. This last one especially was very, very close. It came down to just a few mistakes, really, that we'll get into. But overall, at least these 2 games have been very entertaining. And we've had, our own discussions over text about this series, about the way that it's going to go. But right now, I'm feeling good about my pick. I know you might not be feeling good about your pick, but how are you feeling overall, generally, over these first 2 games? Because this has definitely not gone the way I think most people, even the most crazy Knicks fans, I don't think they would have expected this lead, this 2-0 lead.
I would say whenever you're 2-0 down in the NBA Finals or in any series, it's trouble. Like, it's literally just you're in big trouble, especially when you drop two out of two from like being at home and all.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like, I'm not going to make like, oh, they're fine. No, you're not fine. Like, you're not fine. You're in deep trouble, right? Because all it takes is one bad shooting night and all, and you're going to. The fact of the matter is, the San Antonio Spurs are going to the New York. They probably need to get a hotel outside of the city, bro. At this point, like, that's the Lions den they are going to. Or game
The
3.
Garden, bro. That Garden is gonna be the loudest arena.
It's going to be the
of
loudest
the
arena.
season.
I don't know if they can do decibel levels in NBA history. Maybe it's going to rival the Oracle in Golden State, and probably because it's going to be insane. I can't even imagine what the ticket prices are to get in for that.
Oh
game.
yeah, I saw people talking like that it was cheaper for Knicks fans to fly all the way to San Antonio, get a hotel, get tickets for multiple people, then go to one game in New York, because to get in, it's at least $4,000-$5,000, something
exactly.
like that,
So
for one ticket.
For one ticket. So the Spurs, how am I feeling? It's weird. I also feel it's like they're in trouble, yes, but there's nothing about these 2 games with the overreactions people have made. Maybe I won't say overreaction, but there's too many conclusions about this series. Like, I don't know what I'm watching. Like, I'm not seeing the same thing people are watching. Where somehow, some way, I'm seeing people say there's this good margin between the Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Or Wemby is so and so. All the superlatives being made about Wemby, his detractors and all. And just the game, me and you spoke about it in length on text yesterday, where I'm like, I have liked every single thing the Spurs have done defensively this series. Outside of 5-10% there, where example of yesterday where they were doubling, or they were trying to catch Brunson off guard and someone else off guard, and they doubled off and left Shamet open in the corner for 3. And I'm 1,000% sure in film, they're showing them those possessions, because a lot of those possessions were caught, clock trickling down, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and you played an incredible amount of great defense for 20 plus seconds of the shot clock, or 18 plus seconds of the shot clock, and you guys ruined the defensive possessions because you go double. Never. Castle was caught. Someone else was caught doing that off cards. They did it twice over, and it led to Shamet open 3. If there's one guy you're not leaving on the Knicks open right now, it's Shamet open 3s. Like, you don't want to leave him open, right? And a lot of those possessions where the Knicks would score off were situations where the clock is dying and they play. So there's a part of it where, and this happens when we're playing a team like OKC, where you've done so well on Shea. You've done so well on Jalen Williams and all. So your defensive focus, that last 5 seconds when Caruso or Ludort or someone else that you want to get the ball, isn't so like, pinpoint. They're not finishing those possessions and
Yeah.
all. But again, this is like
They
10
did what they
minutes.
had to do, they got
Yes,
the ball to these guys with a few seconds left and are, daring them make these shots or make
yes.
these drives or
And
whatever.
the aggressiveness of how you guys have been defending Brunson or how you guys have been defending Cat or whoever is not like, is not click. It's not, you guys lose that little bit of focus in that moment, and they score off those baskets. And as I said to you yesterday, I wish I can see the starts. I wish I can see the starts that show their defensive possession and the time of the shot clock the Knicks had shots. And
Let
I
me tell you, I did just that for you today. I
thank you
went
very
through
much.
and I watched all the possessions. I
Thank
did
you
my
very much.
best to count down
Thank you
how
very
many
much.
times they took shots with about 5 seconds
5 and
left.
under.
5 and under. Overall, I got to about 11 times, 11
Yes.
possessions. They made 4 shots of those 11 possessions and they missed 7, or it was a shot clock violation. However, through the first 3 quarters, it was an even split of 3 made and 3 misses. I counted in the fourth quarter, after Shamit made a 3 in the corner with a few seconds left. Then there was a possession where there was a 24-second violation, and then 2 more times after that in the fourth quarter when the Spurs were coming back because the Knicks were up by like 12.
14.
It was a 97-83,
Yeah.
and the Spurs brought it all the way back. They went on like a 14-1 run. In that run, 2 of those 24-second violations or whatever
Yeah.
happened in that time.
Did
So
those 11 possessions, sorry, did those 11 possessions include on the free throws? You remember the Jose Alvarado free throws where clock was dying completely
mm,
on, I don't know if that included that too.
I did not include that, and then I think
Yes.
there was also the OG one where he got fouled and they returned
Yeah.
it, but that would have been a shot clock, so that one
eh,
also could have
Yes.
counted.
Yes.
But generally, when I was watching, I felt good about the Knicks offense. I feel the
The
most
only,
good out
yeah,
of the
continue.
Knicks offense in this series. And I just think that they are such a different challenge from OKC. We talked about this. Like, if you stop Shea, we're really asking a lot out of these role players. When you stop Brunson, getting it to Cat, getting it to OG, getting it to Mikal
Mikel.
Bridges was
Mikel was
incredible in
really
this
good.
game. In that third quarter, there was a stretch where it was Mikal, Jose Alvarado, Landry Shamet,
I was
Deuce
going to mention that.
McBride, and Mitchell Robinson. And in that time, Mikal was controlling the offense. He had 2 pretty tough mid-range shots. I think Deuce McBride also had a really
Another
tough mid-range
tough one.
shot that was like way
There,
up.
there were like 4 buckets in that stretch where, and I was going to mention that. That's a great point. I think the Knicks won that game in that stretch. I
Yeah,
think
because
obviously it got really close,
yeah, no Cat,
but
no Brunson,
no
Wemby
Cat,
was
no
out there.
Brunson, no OG, and it was
Hmm.
Alvarado. It was Shamet. It was the only starter in there was Mikal Bridges,
Hmm.
and the Spurs were playing dialed on off defense, and Mikal just hit it over them. There was one that was down into the shot clock. There was one on Deuce McBride, got the ball, nothing was working, and he rose up. And they kept
Yep.
making those work. And Mike Brown will bring them back the start of the fourth quarter to show how good they played. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if the for me, the Knicks will look at those minutes. I don't know how many minutes that was with that lineup.
Hmm.
As like, man, we won that game. Yeah. And the Spurs, for me, will look at the start of the third quarter. The offense they were playing that start of the third quarter was just hurried transition opportunities where Castle was not watching his environment, just going up for shots. The same thing happened to Harper. There was some other positions where rushed shots,
And
not taking the.
they got blocked a couple times in transition. Castle
Yes,
did.
there's
I
too
think
many. Yeah, they got,
Champagny
but
did
yes,
a few
so
times.
OG blocked like
OG
twice. Josh
Hart
Hart's
got
blocked.
one.
There was so many times
Brunson got a few steals. There was a couple times like they were inbounding the ball and Brunson just picked one off,
yes. So
or OG picked one off.
and for me, that offense, that third quarter was what put the Spurs in spiral because in the fourth quarter, when they were just like, okay, we need to start like actually playing offense, like you could see what they were getting, and you could see they were getting way better shots than the hurried or rush shots that sometimes Champagne is one guy that once he gets hot, he doesn't know how to stop. Like, bro, not all the 3-point shots are created equally. Like, calm down, like
Yeah.
rotate the ball and all. So yeah, it's like that's the thing. They're down 2-0. It's horrible, but some of the quality of shots the Knicks were hitting, I don't believe if those are the same type of shots they're going to get as long as the series goes on. I would say, you watch it again. There was nothing outside of Cat. Cat was the one guy that said was getting the good things, the good ones. I'm like, that can happen in game 3. That can happen in game 4. That can happen in game 5.
I would say there was a lot of drive and kick opportunities. Like, again, compared to OKC, every time that one of these guys, OG or Mikal or Brunson, like these guys are much more willing and able drivers, and they are like the Spurs are doing their best to rotate, and they're rotating pretty well. But I still think that like they have all these weapons. And like a guy like Mikal Bridges in that third quarter had 9 points. He was 4 of 4 from the
He was
field.
like 7 out of 8 at one point. He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, he was
awesome.
awesome. He had a really nice lob pass to Mitchell Robinson where he got Wemby to just commit very slightly, and then he immediately threw it to Mitchell Robinson, who was able to get the dunk. And then as well in that stretch, Mitchell Robinson is impact, even though he only ended up with how many offensive rebounds? He only ended up with 1 offensive rebound counted in that stretch. There was a time where the Knicks got 2 offensive
4
rebounds and it
offensive
led to a
rebounds.
Shamit
Yes.
3. But I counted at least 2 other times where just his presence of tipping the ball over to
Tapping.
another Knick
Yes.
led to offensive rebounds. So his impact is very impressive.
Yeah.
I just want to give my graces and love to Karl Anthony Towns because this has been an incredible series from him. For me, he deserves Finals MVP for sure right now. Obviously, Brunson has the moments in the fourth quarter last game, in this fourth quarter, which he did
To be
shoot
honest,
a lot of
he only had
shots.
one bucket in the clutch. That was a big one.
I mean, it was the one to tie it up. I agree.
Yeah.
He did go 3 of 9 in the fourth, 7 points. So I felt like the way that the Spurs got back into it was because the Knicks went to Brunson a bit too much. I think Cat should have had a bit more in the fourth quarter.
Can I add something? I think narratives are so funny, and I think one of the things I don't like is, and this is not you doing it, but like the commentary about when we talk about sports or especially basketball or something like that. There's too many analysis by wings that I find very funny. And it doesn't mean, obviously, you analyze and a team wins, and obviously, let's give credence, let's give this thing. But it's so funny how the context of things are being built off that win. Do you know how many points Cat had in the second half?
Yeah, he only had 3. He had a great second quarter and first quarter, but actually no, he had 4.
I have a
he had
question.
4 actually. Yeah.
I have a question. If for some reason this was 2-0 Spurs, right? And Cat had 3 points in the second half, what are we saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
But I don't think it was like he didn't even like get any shots. He got 1 shot in the fourth quarter and 3 shots in the third.
But this is the context, right? We will criticize the lack of him shooting. You see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. At the end, it's like, hey, Cat has changed his whole, and he's playing incredible, awesome basketball these playoffs. And he sets the tone at the start of the first quarter. When Spurs were trying to hit them with a punch, he was the one who responded that first quarter. So I'm not shit, but I'm looking at more the narratives of how we base these things. Because a win came out of it, so we forget. We forget that
I mean, you can put that to Brunson as well, because Brunson has been shooting terribly in this series. Like 12 of 31 in the first game. Today he was 7 of 25. I don't disagree. Brunson as well had 4 turnovers.
He's 19 out of 56, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. So I mean that's true, but winning and the way Brunson does it, especially in the fourth quarter and these clutch shots,
Yes, and
It's
the
like
Knicks
I
and the
actually
Knicks
yeah.
and the Knicks are 2-0 up, right? So
Yeah.
so so it's the same way after game one, Mike Wilbon will come out and say, "Oh, not Texas lost Brunson, not they lost Luka too, but they were all going crazy for Luka, but they lost Brunson and all, and he's better than Luka, and and I was like, in no world, and that's the thing about expectations, and what I'm talking about analysis by wins of how we.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible a team can win and they have been brilliant, and we praise that, right? It's
Yeah.
very possible that is not the case, but we don't put the context of what that is. In my opinion, the second half of that game was won by Mikal Bridges for the Knicks.
Yeah, the bench really put
And
a
that bench,
nice
and
yeah,
that bench,
Shamit giving you 13 points, especially cuz Josh Hart in this game was just in foul trouble the whole time. He did not have the same impact
yeah.
with rebounding wise and all that. But
And
yeah, Jose
and
Alvarado had some nice minutes even though he didn't make a shot.
and go
Mitchell
and go
Robinson, yeah, they
and
were
go the
fouling him as well.
and go the opposite end is Wemby has a tough first half, right?
Yeah.
He has 22 in the second half. Isn't that a
Yeah, he's much
response?
better.
He had 29
It
points? Isn't
was.
it?
Yeah, it
It
was.
was a
But the
then
moments is what
obviously
makes it.
that
The
moment
moments at the
is
very
not
end.
that moment is not going to make anyone remember about your 22 points. And I completely get that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a big. And so I have a question for you, Elias.
Mm-hmm.
I I am genuinely of the thinking that not everything is a choke. I
Mm-hmm.
think people say
Yeah.
choke to like
Yeah.
choke is
A choke
to
is what
lose
the
it.
Cavs did in game 1 against the
Thank,
Knicks. That's a
thank you very
choke.
much, right?
Yeah.
What Chet did in game 7 is a choke job, right? When
I
you
think
when
you could say it's a
when you
choke, but that's also like yeah. I
my thing about chokes is one, you play out of what you normally are. You are less of who you are. One,
mm-hmm.
that's one criteria. Two, there's an amount of fear, of lack of aggression that you're showing, right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Wemby's play was just a horrendous, tragic Johnson on J.R. Smith. Like that was a
Yeah,
horrendous.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
know
I
who?
agree.
Do you know who choked in the Cleveland Golden State? That game, LeBron had 51 points.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
who
yeah,
actually choked?
JR.
No, Judge Hill choked.
Oh, well,
Not
yeah, because
JR.
he missed the free throws.
Because
Yeah, yeah.
JR made a horrendous
JR, yeah,
blunder.
he made a yeah.
It wasn't a case of like, oh, he's like, you know who choked? Remember Giannis Miami Bucks versus Miami that first round, where Giannis was so scared that he was going to be made to go like they were going to foul him to take a free throw, and he tosses the ball to Middleton, and that is a choke because he
Yeah.
was scared to go to the line. What
Mhm.
happened with Stephen Castle and Wemby was just lack of. You could see. Have you seen the angle where Stephen Castle is like, "Hey, bro," like it does his
Yeah,
hand like
there's
this.
the angle from the back where Stephon
Yes,
Castle is looking at Wemby the
like,
entire time, and as
and it's
soon
like
as he turns his head because he
that's when
thinks that he's
Wemby
not gonna
turns the
pass
ball.
him, that's when Wemby, yeah, picks
But
it
that's
up
the thing.
and passes it.
I don't think Wemby sees Castle do like this. He's like, slow down, like slow down. So Castle was about to go start the play and all. I don't think that was a choke. I just think that was just a
I think it
horrendous.
was I think you can credit that to like youth, inexperience, the pressure of the
Yes,
moment, like both of them
yes.
just not being on the same page right away. And
Same thing that happened to what's his name? Amen Thompson, or was it no
no,
Jabari
it was
Smith?
Reed Shep,
No, not
or
the
was it
Rich
not Reed
Shepherd one.
Shepard?
Do you remember the Jabari
Okay, yeah.
Smith play in game 2, I believe, where he just tosses
Oh
the
yeah.
inbound, and
That's what
Marcus Smart
started it.
comes
Yeah,
and Marcus Smart comes to get a steal, and I think they fouled Marcus Smart on the play and all. But
yeah, yeah,
those are cases of like massive blunders, and we've
yeah,
seen so many. And I don't think every massive blunder is a choke. Like I
yeah,
don't think
for
every
sure.
massive blunder is a choke. I
I
just think it's
think
a case
yeah.
that it's a massive blunder, and obviously that shit. I was watching, I was like, no, and he tossed it. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
whoa.
because it was crazy rewatching the game right now. And like the Spurs had like their first lead in the second half, 102-104 with 50 seconds left.
Yeah,
Brunson goes down and makes that shot. Um and I wanted to say earlier about because I think when it comes to analysis, there's a lot of different ways you can say it, but like you can talk about the whole picture, you can talk about just moments, but I think like obviously moments is what sticks. Like I was just watching on Twitter right now before we started. It was a 90-second of Mbappe, France Argentina World Cup final, the last World Cup, where he made the penalty shot. And then whatever there
he
was some
scored the second
play
one.
and then he scored the second goal. And the second goal, I watched it. I was like, man, that was such a tough angle. And like, it felt so easy that he could mess that up in such a big moment.
Yeah.
And then I looked in the replies and somebody was like, anybody who was watching, no, that's not a good game, by Mbappe.
But
And then somebody else was
that
like,
doesn't
you got a
matter.
hat trick. And then he was like, oh, two of them are penalty. And then I'm
Doesn't
just
matter.
thinking, it's like, you can criticize and say like, or like with Paul George against Damian Lillard, that was a bad shot, but you made the shot,
You
you
made the
made the
shot.
goal, you
Yeah.
had the moment on your side. With Brunson, he shot terribly, but in the times where it mattered, he made the shots in the fourth quarter. In this game, he was 3 of 9 in the fourth quarter, but he made the shot that tied it up and then
I kind of
eventually
know.
made at least a
No,
free throw.
remember I
So
said it, right?
and then
When
for Wemby, like you said as well, he had a great second half, but it was just the one moment. And
one
I
moment.
think in basketball compared to soccer, in soccer, like one single moment obviously stands out much more. Like one goal is worth a lot more than,
Yeah.
and
Then
usually, basketball
baskets.
games aren't often won in just one moment. But I
Yeah.
think in that moment when Wemby turned it over, whether it was him or Castle on the same page or both or one or whatever, whose fault exactly it was, but that's what sticks out. That's what people are
No,
going to
no.
talk about. That's
But
what we're
my
talking
thing is,
about.
it should stick out. The superlatives we make off
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
becomes, and it happens a lot because again, as I said, Cat, hero, incredible,
Hmm.
amazing. He had 3 points in the second half, and that is, and we don't, we that's it's not in
Yeah.
our minds, right? It's not
Yeah.
in our mind, right? But
Yeah.
and that's the thing. There's superlatives made about Wemby shop, or Wemby is this, or Wemby is not Kobe. Wemby is, and I'm like, he just had a great second half. He made an incredibly terrible, and let's talk about that. But the
Yeah.
superlatives of that, and Cats, the Knicks win, and the superlatives of Cat, forgetting that he just had 3 points in a second. So
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to say. Where it's like it grinds my gears just because
I
there's
think I think a part of that is because it's social media and the way sports is talked about so much is like everybody wants to have a take. Everyone wants to have an instant reaction based off this one thing.
yeah,
And we're going to talk about it and make this whole into a one big thing. But then nobody cares to actually analyze the game, the X's and O's, the way the
yeah,
whole quarter happened.
yeah.
I think that's just the way that sports and we consume things online and all that stuff is. Everybody is looking for just that one thing to make it blow it out of proportion, or not out of proportion, but to blow it into this big thing. And then we don't really care about everything else because that other stuff does matter. But at the end of the day, in this particular instance, this one thing matters the
Becomes
most.
bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move back to just talking about some of the things I noticed. And one of the things I was going to say is they need to have De'Aaron Fox out there more, just because I like everything De'Aaron is getting. Like if you saw the game, like he missed those mid range paint buckets that he hits, and
Yeah.
I
He
was
had a
like,
much better game today.
yeah,
He had a
but
much
he had
better
a
game
much
today.
better fourth quarter. Like the third to fourth quarter was when he started waking up, and I feel it was kind of like, oh, a lot of possessions are being handled by Castle, and we talked about it on the group chat. I remember I was like, Stephen Castle is not a point guard. That's not a point guard. He's a combo
Yeah.
guard
Yeah.
that can handle the ball, but he should not be in any way the one generating or directing your offense. He's just
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that
He had
player.
he had 5 minutes and 2 turnovers with 2 points in the fourth
Yeah,
quarter.
and
Um,
there was a stretch where he was benched in that fourth and all. But they need his defense against Brunson, so it's not a case. I just feel they need to find a motion. Sorry, they need to find a rotation where De'Aaron Fox is able to navigate that defense better than any of their guards outside of Dylan Harper, because Harper is really, man. We
Yeah,
can talk
bro.
about that dude.
Harper
We can talk about,
Harper went right
before
at Harper went right at Brunson in that fourth quarter, and that was a tough, really awkward kind of shot, and he
yeah,
just got that in.
I'll get to Dylan Harper, but De'Aaron Fox navigation of screens, getting to where he wants, they need more of that, and he needs to be more aggressive. He just needs to be more aggressive. And I think
Yeah.
in that fourth quarter, he kind of picked up on him, like, hey, bro, like, what the hell? And he started hitting shots and shooting and all that. They need his navigation of screens and his ability to like run an offense better than Stefan Castle. Castle has to be on the field. But I would say Champagny, Vassell, Harper, Castle, you watch them play defense against Brunson, and it's like every counter he has, they're ready, they're dialed in. And that's why I was like, this series for me is, yes, the Spurs are in trouble. I don't deny that. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, do you know what feeling I'm getting about this series? Especially with, as I said, outside of the quality of shots the Knicks were having to hit, for me, reminded me of a famous series you will remember. Do you remember when the Bucks went 2-0 up against Toronto?
Oh yeah.
You remember?
I thought, yeah. I thought you were gonna say Bucks and Suns because Mikal
No, no,
in
no, no,
their
no, no,
finals.
no, no, no. I think it's a different scenario. The Suns actually dominated and destroyed the Bucks in the first two games, and the Bucks had to
Mm-hmm.
switch strategy in the next game, like switch strategy, let Chris Paul go to his left, all those type of. I'm talking about the Raptors versus the Bucks series where the Bucks went 2-0 up. Go watch the ending of those games, especially the second game where Brook Lopez was hitting and Ilyasova was just hitting some crazy things. And the
Mm-hmm.
Raptors were playing, and at that time, my mind was not picking up on those things, but I had flashbacks to those moments when I was watching the game yesterday and all, where I'm like, the Raptors would have seen their defense the first two games and just be like, we are doing incredibly well against these guys. And
Yep.
I feel the Spurs, outside of those tiny few moments, I think Kat is going to get good things this series. I just don't think he's going to he's getting what he wants. I think he's going to
Yeah.
continue to be able to get that. But every other one person else, the Spurs, outside of those 10-15% where they left Shamet open for three and did doubles, Champagne, Vassell, or Castle they are dialed in on what most of the Knicks are doing, even OG and all.
Yeah. I mean, you
And
can see that especially in the way Brunson is shooting. Like,
yes, like
that he's has to take that many shots and he's missing. He's not very
and
efficient.
this is the thing I said. This is Jalen Brunson's greatness. Remember, I said I was like, Brunson might be 9 out of 29. He's gonna show up. And
Yeah.
the 9 out of, and when I say show up, the 9 out of 29 will be the two field goals will be that fourth quarter where they needed the most, and
Yep.
he's going to make it. So
Yeah.
we've talked about it in the playoffs, bro. Your lives are on the line. Shoot however way. I'm not going to use his percentage going. He's just not playing well, and I need also to agree that he's not playing well, but he's still going to show up when they need him. And
Yeah.
my thing goes back to they are dialed in on those moves. In game one, when Brunson hit, I remember when he hit some crazy thing over Vassell and Champagny, and I was watching the moves and I was like seeing the counters, and and the Spurs defenders were never, when you still make great defensive plays, but you are off balance. The Spurs defenders are never off balance. They're
Mm-hmm.
catching the moves. They're moving with him, and his greatness means he's still going to hit some of these things. So for me, if
Yeah.
I'm the Spurs, we need the biggest adjustment they need to make is on offense. Poise, slow down
Yeah.
the pace, and
Yeah.
actually play your offense and a little bit of ball movement and stop the ill-advised 3-point shots when we get hot. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that for me is where they need to listen, because for me, I'm having a feeling that this reminds me of the Bucks Toronto Raptors series again. And I hate to tell you else, if the Spurs win 4 straight, I will go back to what I've said about what I've done these 2 games. I literally will go back. I'm just saying.
I understand. I just think that that's like, this is all fair and good. And I agree to some extent, but it's like at the end of the day, a 2-0 lead where they win both games in San Antonio and they're going back to New York, like, next game is do or die. Like
Is
it is. Oh, yeah, I
wait,
know. We know it is. It is it. This is it. And they have to win that one. And then the same thing. I don't think they can lose game 4 if they win game 3. They can't go down 3-1. You can't beat LeBron against the Warriors.
they can't. I'm sorry.
So they have to win 2 games in a row in the Garden,
I would
which
say,
to me just feels very unlikely. The way the Knicks are playing, the way the environment is over there, the way that the Spurs are still so young in their experience, like I think that it might be a bit too much to do.
you can win this series 3-1 down, the Spurs. 3-1. Wait, listen. 3-1 down if you win game 3. That's the only way this is gonna happen.
Well, yeah, of course. They can't win
game 3.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry, bro.
Of course, there's nothing else to say.
There's nothing like you can only come back from this series 3-1 down if you win game 3. That is for me. That's the only way.
That's just true. That's just true. They can't come down from 3-0. They can't.
Because I think even if you win game 4, you are dead in the water. Like if you lose game 3 and you win game, you're dead in the water. But I was gonna say,
I don't even think that's worth saying. Like that's just true. They're not coming down 3-0.
I want to say something about home crowds though, and this is something I've noticed since I've been an NBA fan. Bro, there's been times I've been a fan of a team, like teams I support or rooting for and all, and I kind of hate home crowds. And let me explain why I'm saying that. The Knicks are going to have an incredible momentum. That building is going to be going crazy. But one of the biggest things about NBA crowds is the angst they feel when pre-game's hope is not being materialized in the game. You've seen it in Philly. Philly has a crowd like that. I've seen it in so many other, the Mavs. Like sometimes I hated, following the Mavs, I hated us having games at home because I always felt our players rose up to the occasion better when they were away. Because all the Spurs needs to do is survive that first quarter. They need to survive that the Knicks are going to punch them in the mouth. 1,000% that first quarter. And you need to survive that blow. Because this is the thing, right? When you have a big crowd, when you have that large crowd and everything, what happens when it flips? Now, where the Knicks are now 10 points down in the fourth quarter.
But I will push back against that because we literally saw that with the Cavaliers in game 1. They were down with 7 minutes left. It was quiet. Brunson made like 2 shots. It was still a 15-point lead, and they were getting loud in there. So I think,
thing, right? The hope and the amazingness they have, right? That's game 1. The hope and the amazingness the Knicks have right now, like the idea that a chip is 2 games away, is for me a thing of just like, I know how that goes. Trust me, the Spurs, they are going to, they as a young team, this is going to be, bro, they are going to be punched in the eye that first quarter. And the Knicks crowd, that's what I said, bro, you better get a hotel outside of New York. Because if the Knicks fans find which hotels you guys are in, you ain't sleeping those nights. It's going to be crazy. Like I'm not even making this thing. I just know that whenever we like, man, there's no way they can go to these people's home. And if a team is able to sustain and withstand that pressure, a lot of times that joy and that atmosphere of home crowds flips. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. This is different. When you're in the Oracle, you have no chance. Like when you're in the Oracle,
I feel like this might be a chance where I don't like, no matter what the Spurs do, unless they go up by 20, 25, like halftime type of thing. That's the only time where I can see it being quiet. At any other point, even if they're down 10, anytime the Knicks make a bucket, it's going to get loud in there. They are so desperate and they want this so bad.
There's quiet and there's angst. Have you seen when NBA crowds are like, when your team is missing and they start sighing? They start sighing. Oh, like there's even quiet and there's that where it seeps into the players and all. So we're going to see what happens, but I just think man, God, I can't wait for what the Guardian is going to be, bro. That is
Yeah,
going to be.
bro. It's gonna be so much fun.
It's going to be so like, bro. You know what of this? I was like, I love this finals. Of the NBA is the only place where sometimes I'd be happy when my teams don't go far because I cannot imagine dealing with the anxiety,
Bro, it's so bad.
anxiety as a
Even
fan,
like yeah, even watching Game 7 as a Raptors fan, I'm stressed the entire
bro.
time.
Man, it's the worst,
It's a I can't imagine like being a Spurs fan and in that moment Wemby does that, like that is completely
bro.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, you're not gonna watch any TV. You're not gonna watch anything. You're gonna be off. So I remember being supporting the Bucks when we went 2-0 down against the Suns. And bro, I remember how that felt. So genuinely, I think, as we said, the Knicks. If I'm the Knicks, I kind of continue doing what I'm doing. I just have to
Yeah.
get better. I just have to get better shots. Did you see the video of Michael
I mean,
Bridges?
yeah, I literally thinking about that right now. He said they asked him like about being up 2-0 and he's like, no, 0-0, stay desperate. And I mean, he knows
Forget what he said.
firsthand.
Did you see how he was hyperventilating? Did you see how he was hyperventilating? And someone said he's having Yannis flashbacks. Because if you remember, he was on the Spurs when they went 2-0 up.
Yeah,
and for him,
sure.
bro, I'm sorry.
I mean, he knows it better than literally anybody else. Like it's not over.
This next couple days is going to be one of the worst things for that kind of guy. Because the PTSD that you're going to be experiencing, he knows I have been 2-0 up before, and he's probably going to be like very overbearing. Like if a guy is laughing, if a guy is like, bro, he's going to be that kind of
nothing is gonna be funny for the next few days.
For that guy.
Nothing is gonna be funny. It's just
funny for Michael Bridges because he's experienced that exact same scenario. And bro, in that interview, he was hyperventilating. He was like, yes, 0-0 down.
I literally saw that on Twitter right now, and some people were talking whatever, but then somebody posted like, you know, Giannis averaged like 37, 16, and 6 after that. Like,
bro,
I understand that, but Wemby at this level is not that. I think that the way he gets offense is such a bad matchup for him because he can't roam in the paint as much. He either is guarding Cat and he has to be on Cat, or he's guarding Hart or OG or Shamit for a little bit. And those guys are elite shooters. Or Hart. I mean, in this game, he didn't have to play as much.
What did I say in the preview? I was like, he needs to live in the Dirk Nowitzki zone. He needs to shoot more jumpers.
He is, but he's not like.
No, but I'm saying
he's not that level yet.
He's not accurate that yet. But a lot of that. So I think I rather that and you miss than the turnovers trying to drive or trying to ISO.
True, you know? But so far in this series, I think he's averaging more turnovers than assists.
But I'm just saying, he needs to shoot more. And look at the second half. He shot more jumpers. That second half, he shot more jumpers. I don't know what his percentage was in that second half on jumpers, but he shot a lot of jumpers and all. And I just think that's the route where he needs to find that balance of just being even killed on the mid-range. Like when you face up Mitchell Robinson, shoot over him.
But Mitchell Robinson's doing a good job. He's doing a good job defending him, I'd say.
Right? A lot of Wemby's shots are uncontested, bro. Like no matter how you're there, he's 7'6" and 7. I think he needs to just have confidence in doing that and all. And the offense for the Spurs need to just slow down. Castle, they need to be poised. Harper, you need to be poised. Harper was a bit selfish at one point. Champagne, you can't shoot some of the threes that you're trying to shoot and get off. Like that's not going to work.
Yeah, Champagne's just trying to stay on a heater.
On a heater. He gets hot and he kick. And this is the thing that I said. I don't. He's very Tim Hardaway-esque. They get hot, taking great shots and good shots, and they lose that.
They start shooting everything.
They start shooting everything. I'm like, no, bro, no. And you guys can get much better shot. Rotate the ball and all. And you guys will get great. I think Vassell has played a great series so far. Offensively, defensively.
He's been pretty decent.
I don't know what's his average for the series yet. Let me go look. What's he averaging for the series?
He
But
had
everything that
14 today and 9 in the last game, so I
yeah,
don't know, about
every
like 12-ish.
no, but like in terms of like the shots he's getting, I'm fine with them and all. Like he's not playing out of his like he's not playing like exceptionally, but I'm just saying he's doing his job offensively and
Yeah,
defensively and all. And
yeah.
Castle, De'Aaron Fox, as I said, De'Aaron Fox needs to, bro, you need to take over the offense more. Like navigate screens and set up the team and set them up and all. But
Yeah, because I think the way Wemby gets the ball, he doesn't get it enough in the rim, like, in the paint,
in the paint,
and I think that's just, like, he's just not strong enough, or, like, against these guys, he's getting hit every single time he's going down, so he just chooses to get the ball at the perimeter, and his handling, all that stuff is incredible for his size, but it's still not, like,
so
invincible, like, he can
one
still get.
one a, a guy on YouTube or a guy on Twitter said Wemby is a god. No, on TikTok, Wemby can dribble for his size, but Wemby does not
Mhm.
have good handles. I think he made
Yeah.
a he made a he made a he made a this thing. He's like
Mhm.
he can dribble for his size, but he doesn't have good handles. And I think that's something that is very clear. That
Yeah.
yeah,
He needs to get the ball more at, like, the elbow area instead of all the way at the three-point line,
yes,
because when
yes,
he's there, it's literally one dribble and he can reach
he can reach
over.
it over.
In terms of jumpers, in the 3rd quarter, he made 2 mid-range shots and 1 3, and then in the 4th quarter, he made 1 3 and then missed another 3 and missed 2 jumpers, including the last one
So
at
three
the
out
end of
of
the
six.
game. Um Ye yeah, he made 3, and then he missed 3 and made 4. So yeah, he made, like, 4 out of
Seven.
7-ish.
That's a great
Or
percent.
actually, no, he also missed, I think it's 4 out of 8 because he
Yeah,
also missed 1 3.
50%. That's a great percentage. We will live with that and
It's not
all.
bad, it's not bad, but you do want him more at the rim, and he did get
They need
some
so
more
on those, and
alley-oops.
that's what I was saying. On those 3-on-3 occasions, on those 3-on-3 situations in the transition where Harper, Castle were trying to go for layups over OG over this guy. Rotate the ball, wait for a training. Remember
Well,
when
there was
they
one
tied the
Harper
game
stopped and passed it back to Wemby, and he was able to get the dunk and one, which was, like,
and
to
was
give
with
them the lead in the 4th
to him
quarter.
like that. Those are the type of plays where wait for a trailing Wemby, wait for a trailing Wemby, rotate the ball or get a 3-point shot with Vassell or
Mhm,
Chappelle. But those situations, you need to pick your matchup well, right? Don't pick a matchup against. If you see Jalen Brunson, go ahead, go over him. If you see
mhm.
OG, no, don't do that, right?
Yeah,
Like, don't do
yeah.
that. Like it's just certain things that you need to know the tendencies of players and all to do that and all.
Mhm.
But Dylan Harper, man, this
No,
kid, bro.
I saw a tweet that was like, Dylan Harper is like the teenager that you guys need at the restaurant to keep it running. Like, he is very clearly, to me, like the second best player for the Spurs right now,
Yes, yes.
and they're asking a lot out of him, but I mean, he is incredible. In that 4th quarter, he had 9 points, 3 of 3. Yeah,
It's poise, man.
overall,
It's the poise. It's the poise.
he's playing very well for a rookie.
Yeah, the poise is just I love Dylan Harper, man. Like it doesn't. It looks like you've been doing this for so long. It doesn't look like you're 20. Like we keep saying that, but it just looks like
Yeah.
you're ready for this moment. It
The
doesn't look like it
finishing is
changes
so
you. The
crazy.
finishing is crazy. He's strong. He's
Yeah,
extremely strong. Like he's 20 years of age and his strength against some of these guys. I'm like, wow, like strong, great driver of the
yeah.
ball, fearless. Man,
Yeah,
the
literally
sky,
all his made shots were at the rim.
bro,
Like, all his made shots were
the
at the rim
sky
pretty much.
is the starting point for this dude, man. Like, I love Dylan Harper, bro. Like
Yeah.
I am buying everything. I'm putting the house on you, bro. Putting everything on you, bro. Like this dude is an incredible basketball player, man. And I
Yeah,
can't just wait
yeah.
for his growth and all.
Yeah. And again, Cat, I do agree. In the second half, he wasn't as much, but in the 3rd quarter, in the 5 minutes he played, he was 2 of 3 and had 4 points. In the 4th quarter, I can definitely agree. I think Brunson just had the ball too many times, and they went through that entire stretch where they just gave up the lead. I think if they got the ball more to Cat, it would have been nice, but it's such a bad matchup for Wemby because Cat can match up size wise, rebounding wise. He has
and
the
then,
foot speed to keep up with him or even surpass him on the perimeter.
and then
The
strength back his feet.
3-point shot, and he's strong too. Like
Yeah,
this is so crazy. The actualization of Cat as this player that everybody thought he would be as a rookie and all that,
yeah,
like on the Wolves, to just suddenly turn it on. And like in the middle of the season, there was so many times where he was literally, I don't know my role on this team. I
yeah,
don't know my role, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then to make that change in the playoffs to become this playmaking hub, to start defending at such a good level,
Such a
to
great
not
level.
foul, and do his stupid fouls or
Yeah,
turnovers. It's just, I don't know if we ever seen a player
because
like
it's
just completely change
11
and
years
just
of
go on a run like
11
this.
years of postseason or postseason runs and all where we just like, what's this guy doing? And it's never
Yeah.
been a talent. He came
Yeah.
into the league.
It's always been a lot of mental
Yeah,
turnovers, mistakes,
he
fouls,
came.
mistakes,
What
just
Cat is
dumb
right now,
stuff.
he came into the league in terms of the skills he's
Hmm.
showing on this stage. He had it in year one. I remember story time. I used to play 2K and I was doing
Hmm.
my career mode. I remember Cat. He used to kill whatever team I used to have because he was like, he's been a great driver. He's been a great driver from young. He's been a big body from young. He's had incredible foot speed for a big guy. He's known
Yeah.
how to pass, but again, the only difference was if you doubled him and he had City and he would lose the ball and all. A lot of his passes used to be overpowered and all. He's known how to shoot the ball all this long. Like um,
Yeah.
everything he's showcasing is not a surprise. It's that, oh, it's happening. It's finally happening. Like, oh, like that is
It's
when it's
happening and it's
surprising.
all like clicking at the right time,
Right time.
along with this whole team. And
Yes.
like every single time, like he attacks whatever guard is on him,
On
whether it's
him.
Fox or Champagne or Castle. He
I
attacked a
remember
few
what I said.
times.
Remember what I said? The Spurs are small. They're small team.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Because
They're
outside,
small
if
team.
Wemby is not guarding him, I don't like, and give the ball to him and he's gonna attack. And then I also want to highlight two passes he made. The one where
Mikal
he made,
Bridges. Was it the Mikal
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bridges
Oh, yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where he
Woo.
got in the at the paint and jumped up, and there are four guys on
And
him.
he,
Cornet is right in front of him, and before he whips it around Cornet to the corner for Mikel,
I was like,
and that,
that is a world class.
yeah, that one I had to stand up and clap after that one because that one was too good.
Bro, I did
And
the
then the
same,
other one in
bro.
the fourth quarter where I think he had like Castle or Fox on him in the corner and Wemby was sagging off OG and he cross court all the way to OG in the other corner and OG just like attacks Wemby. And this is where I think maybe the fatigue or something of Wemby
Oh, where
because
he dunks.
OG just gets in front of him and just dunks. And Wemby, it felt in that moment like maybe he like if the start of the game, he could have easily blocked it. But those were two incredible passes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just all the praise to him. And then, all the other stuff post game he's talking about his mother and
Yes, yes, yes.
like he's just been very, very impressive in this run. And it feels bad because he has had some of the worst PR or like people's opinions on him, and
Well,
it's
well,
always just dumb
I think
stuff.
so. This is what we do. This is what we do. Again,
Hmm.
when the way we make analysis, like if we've had a sample size of a player being a certain way
Hmm.
and we had certain negatives about them, does it
It
make it
sticks.
yeah, it sticks, but does it make it now false? It's not false. Those when we had these things to say about Cat, they were true.
Yeah, it was
There's a,
true. It was
there's a
true.
reason why.
But now
But
it's just changed up.
now he's changing. But this is the thing, right? People's analysis is not like, oh, Cat has become this player. What an amazing run. And he's shown up on this thing. It's become, oh, I can't believe Cat had this PR. I'm like, no, at this time, it was true. Like, we are
Mm,
dealing with information that we are learning, and we had a chunk of sample size. Like, we had years upon years in the playoffs, over and
mhm.
over and over and so we were not crazy. We were right. Has he
Yeah.
changed? Has he gotten better? Has he turned those narratives to a more positive narratives? Yes. But when we had them, they were true.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's how I just I don't know
Yeah.
why we do that too much. Like, yeah, yeah.
I don't disagree. And yeah, now they're up 2-0. I mean, the other thing for the Knicks in this series is they've kept the turnovers down very well. Only 12 today to San Antonio 16. Um, and yeah, I mean, up 2-0, going back to the Garden. This is completely unprecedented.
Mm-hmm.
The president is going to be there in game 3.
Oh
I saw
boy.
people saying like it if they show him on the jumbotron, if they show him on TV, he's gonna get booed every single time. So why is he even going?
Why
Like
is he even
I don't
going?
know. I don't
Because
know.
it's
But
it's
anyway,
it's 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 Trump. He's
yeah.
yeah, he like main characters don't know how to stay in their lane and all. They want to
Yeah,
have the
definitely
spotlight
not.
and all.
Definitely
So
not.
yeah. Anyway, I
Um,
I think
yeah.
this has been amazing first two games, and we're going to continue having
Mm-hmm.
a great drama this series. And as I
Yeah.
said, this series reminds me of a particular series, and we'll see on when next is the
On
what is it?
Monday. On
Yeah, I know.
Monday.
No, I know.
I,
We
I
have
would push back to that because that's comparing 2019 Kawhi to 22-year-old Wembanyama in his first finals. I think like a lot of people were
no.
saying,
It's not the players. It's the situation. I'm comparing. Like just how the
I
games are
mean,
going.
true, but the players like Wemby is gonna have to play at an extreme level to come back from this
Yeah,
deficit,
yeah. So
and I think that's just gonna be a bit challenging for him. And
so I
like,
think
just yeah,
we are going to record either on Thursday or on
mhm.
Tuesday. We're going to record on Tuesday if it's 3-0.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have to,
probably,
right?
yeah,
But if it's 2-1, obviously we just wait till after Wednesday to record
hmm
going into San Antonio, which the next game they have Thursday and Friday off,
Then it's
and
on
they
Saturday, yeah,
play on Saturday, so we have enough time to record. But if
yeah,
it's 3-0, we have to be here to talk about it and all,
yeah,
and just be like, hey,
yeah.
bro, it's raps, man.
It was fun while it lasted, and
It was
it's
fun.
crazy because the Knicks were a slight underdog in this series.
Yes.
Yeah, I won a long series, but now it's like this is the hardest possible outcome for the Spurs, a young team like this, to have to win 2 games to really keep this series actually alive. Like,
I
even if it's 3-1, I don't think they have a real chance to come back from that.
I
So
agree.
we'll see. We'll see if these Spurs can do the very difficult task of winning 2 games in the Garden. And then when we get game 5, hey, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, this has been a great podcast reviewing these first 2 games.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
It's been
everybody for
fun.
watching.
Thank
Please
you for
like,
everyone.
subscribe. Next time we'll talk. It's either over or we got some stuff to talk about,
some
or
stuff to
maybe
talk
we're gonna
about.
start talking about World Cup very soon.
World Cup very soon. Pushing the
Yeah.
pace. And World Cup.
We're gonna go
We're excited.
crazy.
We're excited. Anyway, you
Anyway,
guys have
thank
a
you
great
everybody
one.
for
Peace,
watching.
love.
Take care, everybody.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir.